Oh, that's cute. You made one?
No, well, actually, I bought a really expensive one, and it had the cheap Hallmark. It had a folded sheet of paper inside.
Oh.
The top side had the cheap Hallmark sentiment and the really nice drawings of a winter scene, and there was a blank bit inside, so I also did that.
It's nice when you make card.
I managed to both do an expensive card and handmade at the same time because of that.
Cute.
I think it was a very good one.
I need to start doing more drawings and stuff. My fine motor is getting really weak. You know, writing and drawing. My hands are trimmery.
He was in that state when he got back from the hospital, so bundled up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was reading about that last night, that autonomic neuropathy has a lot of causes, but I just... what I don't understand, that's funny. I don't understand how a medical system can refer you to specialists, then you're waiting months, and then you show up there, you go there, and they're like the cardiologist and the neurologist are both like, oh, sorry, we don't know anything about autonomic neuropathy.
The only thing that would make that any worse is if you'd paid for it. Well, you did pay for it, didn't you?
Well, no, I didn't. I just begged and begged. We can't pay in this country for medical, right? We have to beg. We're all in the socialist system here.
Yes.
But the thing is that why do you not look at the specialist who has a special interest in that area? Because I waited months for a cardiologist and I waited months for a neurologist, and I go there and both of them say, oh yeah, based on these normal tests over here that don't really apply to you, you're fine, but we don't know anything about autonomic neuropathy.
So we'll just run these until you go away.
Yeah, and, well, no, just run a couple of things and then don't actually do, like the neurologist didn't even do, my knee, my leg, watch this, I can't even straighten my leg. Look at that, and it's shake.
Should do that. Should bend back, if anything,
look at this.
A little bit.
I'll show you. Can't straighten my leg. See, look. You can straighten your, and I'm supposed to be
like this.
I'm supposed to.
I can. Well, my legs don't do anything fancy. Only my elbows do
that
like
a normal person.
My arm does this.
Yeah.
And my legs at least do that.
Well, the leg is supposed to straighten. I'm supposed to be hypermobile, and yet I can't do that. So that, I mean, it's...
I hear chaos.
Oh, he's just playing his Star Wars thing.
Oh, good.
Okay, look. Do you see? I can't fully straighten it. If I try, I'm shaky.
True that.
I can't straighten it without...
What happens if you use your hands in force? Does it go badly? Does it hurt?
It hurts my head somehow. I don't know.
Nerves, it's obviously.
Just, I can't, it's weak. I can't seem to...
That's also abnormal that you
the
can't
left
even
one,
force it straight.
The left one is
that's better.
Is it better?
But
it's tremoring a little bit.
Still.
But it's better.
Yes.
Yeah, the right one's more stiff. But you can get stiff with EDS. It's not like you can't get stiff, but when you're stiff, it means you're very stiff because you're supposed to be bendy.
Mm-hmm.
I still my fingers still come out and all this and move and pop in and out sublux, but I'm stiff as well on top of that. So that's a nasty bruise, eh?
Oh.
It's from the IV. I mean, I bruise really easy.
They put an IV, I think, in this arm, and it barely even left a mark.
He didn't. The thing is that my neck collar this padding is difficult to keep in place. He didn't even do any kind of neurological exam.
So you
terms
still
of,
have to go to the States.
Move your hand, touch your nose, straighten your leg, that kind of thing. He didn't do any of that. He was just okay, well, do an angio and make sure you didn't stroke, and yeah. But I don't know about autonomic neuropathy.
So you still have to go to the States because of this imbecile. Sorry.
They all are. And, it's just... And then the cardiologist was, super nice to me, super nicely talked to me, out the door, with she only did, she was going by a Holter monitor, which was done for 24 hours. Like, I have good and bad days. And
It needs to be a week or so, Holt, to be
yeah,
worth anything.
and an ECG, which is like a 1 minute test. No, like scan of my heart. No stress test. A stress test was what I wanted. And I tried to tell her I've been having arrhythmias since like the October flare.
I wouldn't call it nice if they're not helping. I would call it just patronizing and sugary.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yes, you're right. It isn't nice.
Did she talk to you like this, like she was trying to comfort an agitated cat by any chance? She did, didn't she?
The neurologist kind of did, but she was
You're
more.
fine. Oh,
Yeah.
you're fine. You're a good kid.
We're not
Sorry,
doing any,
force of habit.
We're not doing.
Very bad.
We're not doing any tests, but you're fine.
Yes.
Like, I don't. It's like, what is this? You know, what is this? Like, it's just, the only thing that I have going for me to be able to see somebody else,
Yes.
I should probably see a dysautonomia doctor now, because they deal with the heart related to dysautonomia, autonomic neuropathy. I don't know if those two are the same things or different things. I think autonomic neuropathy is kind of similar to multiple systems atrophy, which is like your organs and your body functions, like the way they function is screwed up. You know, it's like because of the autonomic neuropathy. But like, I need to see a doctor that deals with that, because then they'll deal with the heart issue and the neuro issue and like all of it, because that seems to be my problem. And there's several causes for autonomic neuropathy. So I don't know, like, I don't know in my case which ones. It could be more than one thing. There's several
Neuropathy
causes.
seems to imply like permanent nerve damage, like direct nerve damage.
Well, you know what? It's going to become more and more permanent the more that they don't find out why that happened and try to reverse some of it or help me.
What do I do?
Do you know what I mean? Like, it depends on what it is. That can it be reversed or not, like what's causing it? Like, a Chiari could definitely cause that. A brainstem compression can definitely cause that in part. My stomach. It could be the thing to blame. It may not be the only thing. Even mast cell might cause it if the mast cell attacks the nervous system.
That's true.
Mast cell could cause it.
Isn't that more classic of neuropathy?
Also, mitochondrial disease could
for
cause
the nerves to be directly attacked?
Yes. And autoimmune disorders can cause it. And what do you call it? Mitochondrial disease can cause it. So I need to get to genetics, like, and hope that this time they don't do to me what I just described to you.
Send away without any results.
And like, be also passive aggressively nice about it. I've heard really good things about them. The only thing that I'm scared of is that they're all, because of what they did to me in 2013 with that psychiatrist accusing me of basically being a total fraud and a criminal and a horrible, like, because of that being done to me, it feels like, and because I said I want to like sue for malpractice when I was upset at one point, I feel like they're trying to not like test me for things because they don't want me to have like ammo to sue. Like, I don't want to sue, I just want help. Like, it's pretty obvious that, right? It's obvious that I'm sick. I'm strong-willed, but I'm getting sicker, and I'm fighting it, but I'm getting sicker.
Yes.
You know, and it's obvious. So that's what I'm afraid of. Like, they can test me at the genetics outfit over in Vancouver. They can check me for mitochondrial disease. They can test me for metabolic disorders. But I'm afraid that they are going to choose not to. Because, like, the Canadian medical system, it's like, they say that they're not biased and stuff, and they're not, but that's a load of crap. They definitely are biased. And if they think they're going to be maybe sued, or they don't want to like admit that they were wrong when they accused you of something before, or said, you know, that they were wrong before, and they don't want to sort of produce evidence that proves that they were wrong, they will withhold results. And that's the shitty trap that I'm in. possibly. So let's just hope and pray that they're going to realize that myself and my family are in desperate need for whatever they're able to do. Like, they can't help with the neurosurgery piece. We have a crisis in Canada with that, which you
Yes.
know of, right? And we know that what happened to the only neurosurgeon that was supposed to fix it.
Arrested for murder.
Exactly.
He couldn't keep his scalpel to himself, apparently, it seems.
It's just so ridiculous and kind of like the worst thing that could have happened. Because,
Cartoonishly so.
like, insane, because no one expected that from him. He's the only guy with the training, and people who needed this surgery, which I might, which it looks like I will actually. Like, I feel it in my heart. If that's what's wrong with me, it's both a good and a bad thing. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's a good and a bad thing?
Because he might have taken out his...
No,
feelings
not
on-
about him. He's in jail.
No,
Even
I mean,
if they
if he
bring-
hadn't been arrested, he might have taken out his feelings on his patients.
I'm getting weak. I gotta lean on you. That he had the skills and he's not able to obviously exercise them. But what I'm saying is, what do you think is a good thing about if a Chiari were what, and CCI, the instability?
Bolt the head back on, problem gone.
Exactly. So
Or
it's
at least
it's
problem
fixable.
arrested.
It's fixable, but what's the con about that?
Because
It's really
that one has to bolt the head back on and run the risk of doing worse things.
well, okay,
Complications.
so it's risky, complications, but the other thing is access to the actual surgery, because I mean there might be neurosurgeons here in Canada that might be willing to do it, but do you think I want to go under the knife with people that aren't specially trained and highly skilled? As an Ehlers-Danlos person,
I had IVs put in my arm. You can guess. I invite you to guess which one. I've forgotten myself. I think it was this
that
one.
one.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny bruise there, but did you see mine?
How recent is yours? The Christmas?
2 weeks ago. That one.
That's unreasonable. That is unreasonable. That is a reasonable bruise if you had the IV last night.
Well, yeah, I know. This is what I mean about going under the knife with a neurosurgeon who knows how to cut into an EDSer and fix them without killing them. But it's not funny. It's not funny. I just need to find out, like, it could be
And
not
they
that. Fever. I don't even fever.
I went up to 41.
Careful, my skin's fragile.
I-
Is that, like, if it was something else, if it wasn't the brainstem compression being to blame? Did you know that intracranial hypertension can cause heart block? They
Makes
didn't say
sense.
anything about that. Well, that's what it said on House. And they obviously use
They
actual
do
medical
research.
facts when they do that. Heart block, so arrhythmia. That if there's pressure in my brain, that could be causing my arrhythmia.
Yes.
So we got to fix that.
Brainstem pressure.
But
No?
I mean, if that's not like the main thing, the thing is that it's part of it. Like, my fear here is that there's really more than one thing. Like,
And that bolting the head back on will not be sufficient.
well, no, not on its own. I mean, like, if this is, I don't know. I mean, the other thing is the mitochondrial disease that can do that. But the thing is that usually, if it were mitochondrial. Think about this. Like, she did say that my heart seems structurally sound and strong, but you can still have a heart attack and have a structurally sound heart if your electrical system is screwy enough.
Yes.
You know, if you have, say, a thyroid condition that was severely flaring, it could stop your heart if you're in a thyroid storm because your heart's going so
Thus
fast.
creating a splendid heart to donate to somebody else.
Exactly, because it's a good heart, but it stopped because of an electrical problem because of something else in the body that did that. Like the stem compression and the endocrine piece as well, because when the brainstem's being compressed, it's, puts pressure on the hypothalamus and the pituitary, and it screws up your hormones. And it causes, like, adrenal malfunction and, like, thyroid. And, like, if the endocrine system chemicals are screwy, that can interfere with the heart rhythm as well. Thyroid. Oh yeah, I was saying that this one girl that had the CCI problem with her neck.
Yes.
she had the compression that she had was behind where her thyroid was, and when she would be upright for too long, it would swell and push on her thyroid and cause a surge of thyroid hormone. Believe it or not.
I believe.
I want other people to not have to go through this. Like, I want this to not happen to people. I don't want it happening to me, but I don't want it happening to people in general, because it's just not right. Like, we need change, and I resent that I have to have some kind of illness that doesn't have help available for it, even though it's serious and scary. It really does exist. It really does depend. Like, medical systems should not be biased like that, where you're lucky if you have a certain illness, you're going to be okay, and if you have another kind of illness, you're not going to be okay. But it's not because treatment is not available. That's the issue here. Treatment is available. It's just not commonly needed. It's not commonly, what am I trying to say? They need help in an exotic way. Why? What's it about when people with a serious medical condition cannot access help, even though help is feasibly available if they were to pay for it, but they can't access it either for a reasonable amount of money or in a socialized system? What does that mean?
It means that the system fails in a logistically avoidable way. It's not a good thing where you have to hope to go to the hospital with something cartoonishly obvious.
Yeah, that's exactly. But it's like, what's it about when this?
There shouldn't be a reason to be thankful for a rash.
Yeah, well, exactly. Or being thankful for having, like, cancer or something normal. So a normal illness that's serious but normal and treatable. But why is this? It's because it's a business. Like, it's more...
They need efficiency.
It's more profitable to help people who have things like common problems. So that's what it's about, basically. And that needs to change somehow. I think that if economists were to get together and examine it, that it doesn't need to be that way. I don't think it needs to be that way. I think there could be a different system that could be made to offset the loss of, the financial losses that may come about when people who are more rare may need exotic types of help. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think there are ways that the financial losses could be offset, at least. I mean, healthcare has been made into a business for a long time, I guess, right?
Yes.
And that's where we're at. And like, we're not just gonna probably magically not make it a business. It's a massive, multi-systemic, multi-trillion dollar business. How can it be made to be more fair and more equal? Because it's extremely unequal right now.
I don't know.
It's just an open-ended
tax
question.
Tax the plastic surgery clinics and such to
Exactly.
subsidize.
Exactly. There are
rare
solutions. Care. Exactly. That's a good one. What did you say again? So
tax the plastic surgery and assorted frivolous clinics to subsidize rare care.
Exactly. And then of course the only problem is that this deters customers over there. So maybe there's something that they could pick that's more mandatory.
Boob job? Oh, I mean like taxing of boob jobs and such.
Well, that too, but maybe they could tax like
hair transplants,
common care. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's a good idea.
Yeah, but common care is so pressed already.
Yeah, it's true. I don't mean to sound harsh. I don't really want to get into that too much, except to say that it's not fair to young people, because young people are disbelieved. That's another issue with illness. There's a young people discrimination, right? It's not fair to young people. Young people, so many of us can't work because we're chronically ill with all this crap, because it's becoming more common, like all of these chronic illness issues that people are having because of the garbage that's going on in the environment. There's quite a few young people that could work if they had actual access to medical, and we don't. And I don't want to exhaust myself too much, and I better eat something, or try to anyway.
Yes.